Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our unit on the principles of marketing. And this is for my business leadership courses, for my 8th grade classes. And one of the reasons that we're taking this lesson or going over this lesson is because I think it's important that students understand the world of marketing. Because one, you could take marketing as a course of study in college, and two, it's important to realize the difference between advertising and marketing, and maybe even start observing some of the things that are being marketed around us and some of the things that are being done to market to us as a people, right? And as a society. And there's a great science of psychology that goes into marketing and what have you. So hopefully you can start picking up on these ideas. Now, this isn't a extensive dive into marketing because marketing is very, very deep, and the science of marketing is very deep. So this is just scratching the surface. So we're going to take some of the stuff that was applied from Kotler and Armstrong, a study that I received our textbook that I received in college, and we're going to just kind of scratch the surface in marketing. So here we go. All right, let's see here. The big ideas. We're going to look at what is marketing and how is it relevant to business managers and entrepreneurs. Yeah, it's important that we understand what marketing is, okay, and how to market your business. Now, I'm not talking about just advertising. You got to understand that advertising is a part of marketing, right? And we need to understand what advertising is and isn't, and we need to understand what marketing is or it isn't, all right? And then we're going to look at how does marketing affect consumers and what should consumers be aware of, right? And this will affect us for most of our adult lives. So I think it's really, really a good idea to kind of scratch the surface here and start gaining a little bit of insight into what's going on in the world around us. All right. And I'll give you an example. All right. Now, as middle school students, we like to see the brands on the stuff that we wear because it's like, hey, I recognize this brand, or I wear this brand, or I like to be associated with this brand. In fact, on my shirt right here, right, I have an Under Armour brand, right? And that's fine. It's the branding from the company itself. Now, could the company Under Armour have left this mark off of the shirt? Sure, right? But if they did, how could people associate with the brand? Are we walking billboards? Are we advertising for the company when we walk around with the products and such on logos on our items? Are we paying to advertise for somebody? That's something to think about in the world of marketing, right? So let's dive in here. Principles of marketing. This covers State Standard 0101. What are current trends and issues in regards to marketing? All right, we're going to look at some of that. 0201, what is involved with marketing and the marketing process, all right? And again, like I said before, marketing is a science, so we're going to kind of start scratching the surface on the process therein. How does marketing affect the economy, and how does the economy affect marketing? Yeah, that's interesting because you'll find out, and if you watch and you study marketing, that the way marketing is handled in areas of business where marketing is done is different when the economy is doing well. Now compare that to when the economy is not so well, or something important is going on, like an election season, right? Or maybe when something is booming and growing and new technologies are emerging, right? All right, that's something to think about. Marketing is handled a little differently depending on the world around us. And then what tools and information may help with the marketing process. And we'll do some exercises in regards to that. All right. In fact, this unit is going to culminate into the observations that we make in our favorite companies. Now, it's really funny. I tell peers that I'm doing a study of marketing with my 8th grade students. They're like, "Oh, are you having them do a marketing plan?" No, because I found that most eighth graders can't really develop a marketing plan on their own. But what you can do is you can kind of use your observations to see how a marketing plan might be formed, all right? And that may go towards a project towards, well, sometime later on. So let's dive in here. What is marketing? All right, Mr. C already said that there is a difference between advertising and marketing. All right, I'll give you an example. Billboards. Okay, you walk down the, or I'm sorry, not walk down the interstate. You're driving or riding in a car down the interstate, and you see a bunch of billboards here on I-75 and I-10. Right. Well, those are advertising. You're advertising spaces. Right. Now, think about signs that are posted really, really high and really, really tall, right? In Lake City, there used to be really, really tall Shoney's sign. Shoney's was a restaurant that where Fifth Generation Farms currently is located at, right? Really, really tall. Now, why would somebody want a really, really tall sign in the Lake City area? Well, so it could be seen from further away over the tree line in the horizon, so on and so forth. So somebody could say, hey, there's Shoney's, let's go eat there, right? Obviously, it didn't work for them because they closed down, right? But you get the idea, okay? So yeah, the signs might be a part of marketing, right? But how would somebody identify a Shoney's sign as opposed to, say, a McDonald's sign? Is there a difference, right? Does McDonald's have to put their full name, McDonald's, in the sign and text so people know what it is? Or could they identify it with a certain logo, okay? So, easy recognition, brand recognition, right? All a part of marketing, right? All right, so it could be defined as the activities which are involved in making people aware, that's key, making people aware of a company's products and making sure, or services too, we can say services, products and services, and making sure that products and services are available. All right, and that's what you look at when you look at, say, like a regular definition, okay, and and that's partly true. Notice how I had to insert services in there because marketing, businesses don't always offer just products. Businesses don't always offer just services. So I put and services. You get the idea, right? So activities involved in making people aware. What is awareness? All right, what is awareness? Think about what awareness might mean to you. Are you aware of something? Are you aware of what color your clothes you're wearing right now? Are you aware of what your hair looks like, right? Those are things of awareness, right? Are you aware that it is currently October of 2020 and the PlayStation 5 is around the corner and they're fixing to release the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox has a new gaming system that's coming available? Well, awareness, right? Are you aware of what's going on with the weather right now, right? Awareness, right? So it creates awareness, right? It can also be defined as the act or process of selling or purchasing in a market. Well, who's doing the purchasing? Well, that really depends, right? Is a consumer buying the product, or is purchases being made, say, from a warehouse so that it can be sold somewhere else, right? The process or technique of promoting, selling, and distributing a product or a service. That is key, right? That is key because there's so much to dive into on this section, right? Think about this, promoting. What does it mean to promote something? What does it mean to promote it, right? Well, are you making people aware that something is happening? Well, isn't that what advertising does, right? Think about the McDonald's signs on I-75, right? Don't you generally see a, ooh, yummy quarter pounder with cheese meal, only $2.99 or whatever the price is, right? And then it has like this big mouth-watering looking burger and what have you on there, right? Well, that's promoting. Hey, I'm promoting this item, right? Or what about those Monopoly games that McDonald's occasionally runs, right? These little scratch-off games, and somebody's going to win $1 million if they play the Monopoly game on McDonald's. You get the idea, right? They're promoting something, okay? Are they promoting Monopoly? Or are they just using the Monopoly brand to help them promote sales of their products? Interesting, right? It could be the act of selling. Okay, think about what used car guys do, right? They go out and sell the vehicles to people, right? They're marketing the vehicles to them, right? Or don't even think about that. Think about product placement, all right? Why are certain items in certain places in stores? That's something to think about. There's distribution and products, or distributing a product or service, right? That means how is it going to get there? That's part of marketing, right? Is it coming direct to the consumer? We talked about that in operations. Or do people have to go to a certain store and buy it? Or are they only available at certain locations? All a part of marketing, right? The efforts and resources involved in promoting exchange for goods and services. We're going to dive into that exchange idea here shortly, and we're going to look at that a little bit later on. So that's a really, really cool thing, because what's the ultimate goal, right? The ultimate goal is to offer something, have something of value that people want, and then have them give you something of value to you. You're promoting exchange. In other words, a purchase or trade, all right? So it's more than just selling. It's more than just advertising, right? And that's where I think middle schoolers get the hang up, right? Let me repeat this. Marketing is more than just selling. Marketing is more than just advertising. It's what you associate, right? And what the average person associates with marketing. But it's so much more than that, because advertising is an element or a portion of marketing. All right, let's go to the next slide. So, Kotler Armstrong, the guys who wrote the text on the principles of marketing, which was a textbook I received in college, right? They take the idea of marketing and take it a step further, okay? And they look at the business end of things, right? So they're saying businesses which manage the process, right, and create value for customers and build strong customer relationships can create value from customers in return, right? Notice this word value, okay? What is value? That's a very vague term, Mr. C, because, some people say, hey, I have a bracelet that was given to me by my grandmother who passed away last summer, and that item is very, very valuable to me. Okay, cool, all right. Is it valuable to somebody else? If you take that bracelet somewhere else, are they going to see the value in it? Okay. Well, Mr. C, what if that bracelet's made out of gold? Well, that's fine. What if they're only going to give you the weight in gold, but you think it's worth, say, $500, and they're going to tell you, it's worth $25. Okay. What is the value? Okay. What is the value? Okay. And we're going to look at that here in a few moments, right? But that's the idea, is capturing value. Okay. And we're going to see that businesses that do a good job at capturing value capture a lifetime of value from their customers. All right, here. We're going to go move forward because we are running out of time here. So we're going to look at what is value. Well, value can be defined as a combination of quality and service at a fair price. That could be a quality good, that could be a quality service, or it could be both. All right? Think about what a quality good is, right? What does that mean? Quality good. Quality service. What does that mean? Well, think about a hotel, okay? Are you getting quality service when you go to a hotel and every day you get back, the bed is made perfectly and they have little flowers on the beds and everything smells fresh and clean and new, and it's like, you step into the room the first time every time you go into the room? That could be quality, right? Or what if it always looks good, but maybe it smells a little bit funky, right? Is that quality? All right. Oh, they give you free soaps. That's marvelous. All right. And that's cool. They give you free shampoo. That must be quality. Is it? Each person defines quality as something different. All right, let's dive into that, right? So what is quality? On a product, so we're going to look at the product side of things. It is the ability of a product to perform its functions. This is my coffee cup. It is holding my coffee right now. I could take a sip of it if I wanted to, but I'm talking, so I'm not going to because that's rude, right? So, the ability of this cup to perform its function. Is it leaking? Nope. Is it spilling out the top? Nope, not enough coffee to do that. Even if I tilt it over a little bit, right? Oh, no coffee spilling yet, right? Well, it's not that full, right? It holds the coffee and it keeps it warm. It's in a ceramic mug. It even has a handle on it so I don't burn my fingers, right? Now I turn this cup around, and what do we find that we're advertising? Oh, look, we are advertising for a local school, local college, Florida Gateway College there, right? All right, so quality, right? You're getting an education. Is it quality? Service, interesting. All right, so moving forward, right? A quality service might be the perception of something, right? It is based on maybe the overall durability, the reliability. Maybe some people look and say, well, this is a really precise device, right? Or it's made out of all steel when the other items are made out of, aluminum or plastic, right? Maybe it's based off the ease of operation or repair, right? I have a little speaker unit here, right? And this thing does a quality job every time I want to connect to it. If I want to connect to it, if I want to play sounds through it, it does a marvelous job, right? Now, here's the thing, all right? If I compare the quality of this to, say, my car audio system, night and day difference, right? My car audio system can navigate me wherever I want to go, and it has some really big speakers that make some great sounds. This thing sounds kind of meh because it's one little tiny little speaker. Okay, so comparing the two, which one is higher quality? Well, it depends on the goal, depends on the objective, right? It may include other objectives such as features, style, and design. I could put this item, this JBL Bluetooth speaker, in my pocket, carry it around, and carry sounds with me. When I go to the garage and work, I take this thing out with me, right? Because I don't have a little sound system in the garage yet, and that's fine. Can I take my car that has a really good quality audio system and put that in my pocket? Not really. Well, Mr. C, you can take your car and plug it in and, charge the battery and play your sound through that. Well, that's fine, but that's not always what I'm doing, right? Don't always have my car in the garage. So here we go. That's what I use, right? All right. So quality is controlled by research, design, engineering, and the manufacturing process, right? Now, if the first time I used this cup and the handle snapped off on me, would I think that's quality? Probably not, right? In fact, if that continued to happen, I would suggest that Florida Gateway College use another manufacturer to supply their mugs for their branding and their marketing. Makes sense, right? Okay. Now, a quality service, the results from service that meet or exceed satisfaction. Right? Did they just cut the yard and did they leave a mess and tire ruts everywhere? Well, the yard's cut, so that must be quality. Or did they rake everything up? Did they go through and trim your hedges and remulch the area where the garden is? All right. It's the degree of excellence which needs and wants and demands are met. Or it's distinguishing or quality or different attributes, right? Attributes, descriptions, or descriptive qualities, right? So attributes, characteristics. There you go. All right. So that brings me to another question. What is a need? What is a want? And what is demands? All right. Because that's going to be considered. If you're going to offer a service or a product, you've got to figure out what is a need, a want, and a demand. All right. And we're going to dive into this a little bit more when we get into our unit on personal finance and budgets. All right. But this is really important to know about marketing. All right. So here we go. A need. Just what are needs, wants, and demands? Well, a need is a perception of lack or being depraved of something, all right? Depravity would be the word, right? So a perception, all right? So that includes physical things, right? That would be things like food. Do we need food? Yes, we do need food, right? Do we need clothing? Absolutely, to keep our bodies protected from the sun, to keep our bodies warm, right? Or to do certain functions, right? We need warmth overall, right? Because our bodies, we can create hypothermia if we're not warm, right? And we need shelter from the elements, right? Now, does that food need to be filet mignon? Not always, right? If you can afford filet mignon, that's fine, right? But it's a need, right? It could be just rice and beans if that's all you can afford, right? Clothing doesn't need to be Under Armour. Not always, as long as it's a shirt that covers you, right? But you do need to have warmth, all right? And you do need to have shelter, right? Now, some people call social belongings as a need, right? Or social needs as various type of need. That could be a sense of belonging to a group or a sense of people or a group of people, and that's fine, right? And or it could be a sense of affection. And people say, well, there's people out there that live on their own by themselves. They don't want to belong to a group. Well, could they survive really on their own, okay, without other people kind of helping out along the way? Example, foods, right? We go to the grocery store, we buy foods, or we get seeds to plant our gardens, or we go hunting, right? And you can think of all the things to argue with me on this, but there's still social needs, okay? Individual, right, needs, right? We have the need to grow in knowledge, right? Let me ask you guys straight up. Do you know more now as 8th graders than you did as 5th graders? I should hope so, right? You're growing in knowledge. You're learning how to express yourself, right? You're learning how to be creative and find those kinds of needs that kind of fit you. So you have individual needs, right? Now, wants, on the other hand, are shaped by culture and individual personality types, right? Example, occasionally, Mr. C likes to have a nice filet mignon, okay? However, when I can't afford filet mignon, right, because it's a little out of my price range, I will settle for ramen noodles and tater chips, okay? So you get the idea. Wants are shaped by culture and individual personalities, right? Some people want to have Under Armour on their shirt, right? Some people want to have Nike. Some people could care less what their shirt's saying on them, right? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But their wants are shaped by culture and individual personality types. And then demands are wants which are backed by buying power, right? Backed by buying power, right? So here we go. Mr. C occasionally has the money to afford a nice filet mignon, okay? Nice cut steak, okay? So do I always have that buying power to do that? No, I just got finished saying I can't afford it always, so I settle for the ramen noodles. And that's why I included these pictures over here, right? All right, we need food, grains, simple foods, simple sources, simple carbohydrates, right? But we want occasionally good foods or fast foods, right? We want to be served food fast and inexpensively, so we get the Big Mac and the fries and the Coke on the go, right? And we back up those needs with buying power. We demand it, right? Now, does that mean we could all demand, I want to go on my vacation in a yacht, and I'm going to get a fancy yacht, and I demand the best service ever, right? Well, that's fine. Can you afford to rent the yacht for that week, all right, and a cost of $60,000 per week? All right. If not, you can't meet the demand, right? So sometimes we have wants that exceed our ability to create and to create the demands. Okay. So again, a need is something we need. All right. It's something that's a lack or perception of depravity. Our wants are shaped by culture, right? Like we want to have food on the go, and then our demands are backed up by buying power. We want this so much that we're willing to pay to have somebody else make our food for us and eat it on the go and suffer all the side effects along with it. All right. All right. So that brings me to the end of this section. And I realize I ran a little bit over that 20-minute mark, but you should be able to answer these questions. So go ahead and take care of activity 1, and I will catch you on the next lesson.